Hello everyone, this is Lomi, and today I'm sharing instructions for sewing my updated EID t-shirt pattern, which Rin's wearing in this really non-canon photo. I'd shared this pattern before, but I've made a few small adjustments to improve the fit, include a collar, and make the pattern easier to print. You can download it from my pattern archive link in the description below this video. Assembly is pretty easy. The collar is the hardest part. After you cut out your pieces, put one shoulder together and sew it closed. Just one, leave the other shoulder open for now. If you're using a normal jersey knit, you don't have to finish your edges, but I like to finish with a zigzag stitch anyway just so it looks nicer. Once your shoulder seam is done, insert the collar with right sides together. You can use regular t-shirt fabric for this, or ribbed jersey, like most tees use for the collar. Pin one edge of the collar along the neckline. Inserting the collar this way is a little tricky but gives you the best finish. Sew the collar in place, stretching the fabric just a little as you go. Now we'll close the other shoulder and the collar. Pin it and sew up the shoulder and the side of the collar. Finish the seam if you want. After the shoulder seam is closed, fold the collar in half. This will line up the loose edge of the collar with the edge of the neckline. Use as many pins as you need to, and then use a zigzag stitch to anchor the edges all together. It's a little finicky to work in small spaces, so take your time and don't rush. And if you're more comfortable finishing this seam by hand, you can. This gives us a neat collar with no raw edges or visible seams. Now we'll add the sleeves. Put the sleeve and the body of the shirt right sides together and pin the sleeve in place. Once it's in, sew the sleeve to the main body of the shirt. Make sure the seam went in nice and smooth, and then finish the edge with a zigzag or overlock stitch. Attach the second sleeve the same way. When the sleeves are done, fold the edge to the inside to create a hem. I've designed this pattern to use a twin needle or a cover lock stitch, but you can use a straight stitch and zigzagged edge if you don't have access to those. Either way, you want to fold the edge up about half an inch. If you've never used a twin needle before, it's easier than you think. This is a twin needle with 4mm spacing. You can use this with most standard sewing machines. To use a twin needle, you need 2 threads from the top of your machine. And yes, my cone is being held in there with a pencil. Don't laugh, I broke the pin. My machine doesn't have room for more than 1 spool, so I've added a temporary second spool pin by pinning a nail to the bobbin winder using a clothespin. I wind a little matching thread onto a bobbin to act as a second spool. You'll run both these threads through the machine like usual, dividing them at the needle. To keep your threads from tangling as they pull through the machine, it's important to make sure they unwind in opposite directions. My bobbin unwinds clockwise to the front, while my cone of thread unwinds counterclockwise to the back. If they unwind in the same direction, the threads will twist together. When sewing with a twin needle, you always want to sew on the right side of the fabric. This gives you 2 lines of stitching on the top, while on the back there's a zigzag stitch that allows your fabric to keep its stretch. Hem both sleeves, then we'll close the sides. If you're using a twin needle, you'll obviously want to switch back to your regular needle for this. Pin the sleeve and the side of the shirt closed so we can start at the sleeve and sew all the way down to the hem of the shirt in one line. Close both sides this way and finish your seam. The last thing to do is return to the twin needle to finish the bottom hem of the shirt. Fold the bottom to the inside by about 1/2 inch, just like we did with the sleeves. Again, sewing on the right side of the fabric if you're using a twin needle, sew all the way around the bottom of the garment to finish the hem. Now we turn our shirt right side out, and it's done! Quick and easy, and it looks great. I'll be adding more sizes of this pattern to my archive soon, but that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Bye!